Hi guys, let's start part number 3 of test number 28 UPSC 2021 Prelims test series from Vision IAS. Question number 61. Consider the following statements with respect to corporate insolvency resolution process, that is CIRP. Number 1. The CIRP process is initiated under the provisions of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. This is correct. Number 2. The minimum amount of default for initiating CIRP is 10 lakh rupees. This is incorrect. It is not 10 lakh rupees. The minimum amount of default for initiating CIRP is 1 crore. So it is not 10 lakh, but it is 1 crore. Statement number 3. The maximum time within which CIRP has to be mandatorily completed, including any extension period, is 2 years. This is incorrect. It is not 2 years. The maximum time within which CIRP has to be mandatorily completed, including any extensions or litigation period, is 330 days and not 2 years. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is one only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 2. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. The higher the current account saving account. So current account saving account, that is CASA ratio, the better is the financial health of a bank. This is correct. CASA, that is the current account saving account ratio of a bank, is the ratio of deposits in current and saving account to total deposits. A higher CASA ratio indicates a lower cost of funds because banks do not usually give any interest on current account deposits, and the interest on saving accounts is usually very low, about 3 to 4% only. Therefore, there's better financial health. So statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. Scheduled banks in India are mandated by RBI to maintain a minimum capital to risk-weighted assets ratio of 15%. This is incorrect. It is not 15%. The RBI stipulates that banks are required to maintain a minimum capital to risk-weighted assets ratio of 9%. So statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 3. Banks with high capital to risk-weighted assets ratio raise funds at a lower cost. This is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is 1 and 3 only. Now let's come to question number 63. Which of the following missions has been launched for Saturn exploration? Number 1, Pioneer 11. So it was launched by NASA. Pioneer 11 was launched by NASA. It was the first spacecraft to study Saturn up close. Number 2, Cassini probe. It is also correct. This is also correct. It was launched to explore Saturn, and number 2 is also correct. Cassini probe. It was also launched to explore Saturn. It was launched to explore Saturn's atmosphere, rings, magnetosphere, and moons. So Cassini probe is correct. Number 3, Perseverance rover. This is incorrect. It is a Mars rover. So it is a Mars rover designed to explore the crater Zezero on Mars as part of NASA's Mars 2020 mission. So number 3 is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 3 only. Now let's come question number 64. With respect to the insurance sector in India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. FDI limit in the insurance sector has been raised to 74% in the recent budget. This is correct. Number 2. Foreign ownership and control in agricultural insurance companies are not allowed. This is incorrect. They are allowed. The government in the budget 2021-22 has also allowed foreign ownership and control of insurance companies, including agricultural insurance companies, with certain safeguards. So number 2 is incorrect. Which of these statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 65. Which of the following inflation index has never been into negative territory in the last 5 years? Number 1, headline inflation. This is correct. Headline inflation, it refers to the change in the value of all goods in the market. And this has never gone into the negative territory. It's correct. Number 2, core inflation. This is also correct. It has never gone into the negative territory in the last 5 years. What is this core inflation? Core inflation, it excludes food and fuel items from headline inflation, then it will become the core inflation. So core inflation has never been into the negative territory in the last 5 years. So it's correct. Number 3, food inflation. This is incorrect. It has been to the negative territory in the last 5 years. It has been into the negative territory in between March to April, in between March to August. Okay, so in between March to August 2017, and again in between November 2018 to April 2019. So number 3 is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Question number 66. Consider the following statements with reference to digital dividend. So, with reference to digital dividend in rural and urban areas of India. Number 1, tele-density in urban areas accounts more than twice than rural areas. This is correct. Tele-density in rural and urban areas are, so for rural it is 59.1% and for urban it is 139% respectively. So it is more, or it is about more than twice in urban than in rural. Number 2, number of telephone subscriptions is higher in rural area compared to urban areas. This is incorrect. It is higher in urban areas compared to rural areas. The number of telephone subscription in rural area is 52.6 crores, and in urban area, so in urban area it is 64.8 crores. So urban is greater than rural. So statement 2 is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is one only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 67. Statement, okay, question number 67. The Chile Madrid Climate Change Conference is related to the affairs of which of the following? Option A, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is correct. So option A is the correct answer. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 68. Which of the following statements about National Research Foundation, that is NRF, proposed in National Education Policy, that is National Education Policy and EP 2020 is correct? Option, before we come to the options, let's first try to know about NRF, that is National Research Foundation. There is no target for NRF to increase the expenditure on research and development to 2.5% of GDP by 2025. NRF will be governed independently of the government by a rotating board of governors consisting of the very best researchers and innovators across fields. Major initiatives will be undertaken to seed and grow research at state universities. So it is at state universities and other public institutions where research capability is currently limited. It will fund research projects across 4 major disciplines. Number 1 is science. Number 2, technology. Number 3, social science. Number 4, arts and humanities. Now let's come to option A. It does not fund research activities at state universities. It is incorrect. So the correct statement should be it funds research activities at state universities. So statement option A is incorrect. Option B, it provides funding to research projects in science as well as non-science disciplines. This is correct. So option B is the correct answer. Now let's come to next question. That is question number 69. Consider the following statements with respect to the India's textile and apparels industry. Statement 1. It is the second largest employment generator sector in the country. This is correct. The first is agriculture. So the second is textile and apparels industry. Number 2, India is the third largest exporter of textile and apparel products globally. This is incorrect. India is not the third largest, but India is the sixth largest exporter of textile and apparel products after the first one is China, second Germany, third Bangladesh, fourth Vietnam, fifth Italy, and sixth would be India. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is one only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 70. Which of the following initiatives have been taken by the government to bring reforms in the mining sector? Number 1, setting up of project monitoring units, that is PMUs. This is correct. Number 2, removal of distinction between captive and non-captive mines. This is correct. Number 3, separate licensing of prospecting and mining. This is incorrect. It should be providing composite license for prospecting and mining and not separate. Number 4, joint auction of bauxite and coal mineral blocks. This is correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option B, that is 1, 2 and 4 only. Question number 71. As per the Economic Survey 2020-21, consider the following statements with respect to the regional distribution of agricultural credit in India. Number 1. Southern region shows the highest share in total agricultural credit. This is correct. The share of southern region in agriculture credit was greater than 40%, while it was less than 2% for the northeast region. So statement 1 is correct. Now let's come to statement 2. Northeastern region, that is NER, shows the lowest share in agricultural credit due to low cultivable area. This is correct. One of the factors is low cultivable area, and another factor is community ownership of land is prevalent in most of the northeastern states. These two factors affected the intake of KCC, that is Kisan Credit Card loans, in NER, that is northeastern region, as these loans are given against land documents. So statement 2 is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is both 1 and 2. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 72. If the RBI decides to absorb liquidity, so absorb liquidity from the market, which of the following would it not do? So decides to absorb liquidity from the market. Number 1, increase reverse repo rate. This is correct. And increase in reverse repo rate, it incentivizes the bank to park the money in the central bank, which results in the decline of the liquidity in the market. So this will lead to decline in the liquidity in the market, and so this will absorb liquidity from the market. So this is correct. Number 2, decrease in currency reserve ratio. This is incorrect. Currency reserve ratio can be increased to absorb excess liquidity in the market. So to absorb excess liquidity from the market, we have to increase the CRR and not decrease the CRR. So it is incorrect. Number 3, purchase government securities from the market. This is incorrect. This will not lead to absorb liquidity from the market. To absorb liquidity, government securities would have to be sold. So it should be sold and not purchased to the banks to take up the excess. So statement 3 is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the code given below. So it is asking for not correct statement. So the not correct statement is 2 and 3. So the correct answer is option C, 2 and 3 only. Question number 73. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Coal production in India has been steadily declining during the last 5 years. It is incorrect. It is not steadily declining. Domestic coal production in India increased. So it increased from 639.28 million tons in financial year 15 to 730.87 million ton in financial year 20. So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2. India is a net exporter of coal for the last 5 years. This is incorrect. India is a net importer. It should be importer of coal for the last 5 years. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option D, that is neither 1 nor 2. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 74. Which of the following supports the argument that higher public debt leads to lower growth? Now let's come to statement 1. Higher levels of public debt tend to decrease consumption. This is correct. Higher levels of public debts are accompanied by more taxes in the future to pay the debt, thereby leading to lower lifetime wealth, which may reduce or decrease consumption and savings. So number 1 is correct. Number 2, it can result in crowding out of private investments. It is also correct. It may put upward pressure on the interest rates, resulting in crowding out of investments and thus negatively impacting the growth rates. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 3. It can put upward pressure on the interest rates. This is also correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Now let's come to question number 75. Which of the following has been the economic implications of the recent COVID lockdown in India? Now let's come to statement 1. Surge in government debt. It is correct. Sizable discretionary support along with a sharp contraction in output and an ensuing fall in revenues has led to a surge in government debt and deficits. So statement 1 is correct. Number 2, decline in inflation rates. This is also correct. As a result of weak demand and subdued energy prices, inflation moderated in most parts of the world. Deflationary pressure emerged in major advanced economies and emerging and developed economies. So statement 2 is also correct. Number 3, widening of trade deficit. This is incorrect. It did not widen, but it contracted. Trade deficit contracted sharply as the country's merchandise imports declined sharply related to exports on a year-on-year basis. So statement 3 is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Now let's come to question number 76. Which of the following missions is not a part of the umbrella National Action Plan on Climate Change? So under this we have got 8 missions. So now let's first come to option A, Green India Mission. It is correct. Number B, National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystems. It's correct. It is also one of the missions. Number C, National Mission on Biodiversity and Human Well-being. This is incorrect. It is not a part of the 8 missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. So option C is the answer, which is not a part. So option C is not a part. Now let's come to next question. That is question number 77. National Language Translation Mission, that is NTLM, proposed in the budget 2021 aims to. Option A, effectively implement the 3-language policy recommended by the National Education Policy, that is NEP. This is incorrect. Number B, support the traditional knowledge digital library, that is TKDL, in translating various books on Ayurveda. This is incorrect. Option number C, make available the governance and policy related knowledge on the internet in major Indian languages. This is correct. So option C is the correct answer. Now let's come to question number 78. Consider the following statements regarding demand shock. Statement 1. A demand shock is a sudden and temporary increase or decrease in the demand for a good. This is correct. It could be bundle of goods also, so it's correct. Number 2. Change in price cannot cause a demand shock. It is correct. Change in price cannot cause a demand shock. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is both 1 and 2. Now let's come to question number 79. Question number 79. Union government in the budget 2021-22 has proposed Metro Light and Metro Neo technologies to option A, replace the existing metro rail system in only a few Tier 1 cities. It is incorrect. It should be both for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Number B, and it is not to replace the existing metro rail system also. Number B, upgrade the existing metro rail system to bullet train system by 2024. This is incorrect. Option C, provide metro rail system at a much lesser cost in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. This is correct. So option C is the correct answer. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 80. Which of the following are the objectives of the Samagra Shiksha program? Samagra Shiksha program. Number 1. Treat school education holistically as a continuum from preschool to class 12. This is correct. Number 2. Focus on digital education through smart classrooms, digital boards, and DTH channels. This is correct. Number 3. Capacity building of teachers and school heads. This is also correct. Number 4. Upgradation of Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya. This is also correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let's come to question number 81. Consider the following statements regarding the Financial Stability Board, that is FSB, Financial Stability Board. Number 1, it is an intergovernmental body that monitors the global financial system. It's correct. It monitors the global financial system. Number 2, FSB's decisions are not legally binding on its members. Yes, they are not legally binding. It's correct. Number 3, India is one of its founding members. It's correct. It was established after the G20 London Summit in April 2009 as a successor to the Financial Stability Forum. So number 3 is correct. India is one of its founding members. India is a member of G20. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Now let's come to question number 82. Finance Minister has announced Mitra scheme in the budget 2021-22. It is related to option A, banking sector, incorrect. Option B, skill development, incorrect. Option C, textile sector, correct. Option C, textile sector is the correct answer. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 83. Question number 83. 15th Finance Commission has prescribed the borrowing limits for states as a percentage of gross state domestic product, that is GSDP, gross state domestic product. In this context, arrange the following states in the increasing, so it is in the increasing order of their GSDPs. The first one is Uttarakhand. So as per the data of 2019-2020, at current prices, the GSDP in crores are, the first one is UP. For UP, it is 1,794,507. So that is 17,94,507. For Maharashtra, it is 32,24,013. For Madhya Pradesh, it is 9,06,671. For West Bengal, it is 12,53,831. So the lowest would be MP, Madhya Pradesh, with only 9 lakh. So the lowest is MP. Then next we have West Bengal with only 12 lakh, West Bengal. Then we have UP with only 17 lakh. Then after that, the highest would be 32 lakh, that is Maharashtra. So select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option C, that is 3, 4, 1 and 2. Question number 84. Consider the following statements with reference to food subsidy. Number 1. Food subsidy released by Government of India has been declining since 2009-10. This is incorrect. It is not declining. So the expenditure on food subsidy increased from 63,844 crores to 1,15,570 crores during the period 2010-11 to 2020-21. So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2. The central issue price of rice and wheat has not been revised since the introduction of the National Food Security Act 2013. This is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option B, that is 2 only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 85. Consider the following statements with respect to recent changes in the regulatory regime of urban cooperative banks, that is UCBs. Now let's come to the first statement. The overall priority sector lending target for UCBs, that is urban cooperative banks, has been increased to 75% of adjusted net bank credit, that is A and BC, by 2024. This is correct. It has been increased. Number 2. The Reserve Bank of India has been given powers for approval for the appointment and removal of chairman of UCBs. This is correct. They can appoint and remove chairman of UCB and also MD or CEO also. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 3. UCBs can raise capital by issue of equity in the stock market. It is correct. It enables UCBs to raise capital by issue of equity or preference or special shares and debentures or bonds or like securities subject to such conditions as the Reserve Bank may specify. So statement 3 is correct. Which of the statements given above are correct? The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Now let's come to question number 86. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. National Housing Bank, that is NHB, is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India. This is incorrect. It is not a wholly owned subsidiary of the RBI. It is wholly owned by Government of India. After Government of India bought the complete stake in NHB, that is National Housing Bank. Statement 2. NHB launched the NHB Residex Index to track the movement in prices of residential properties in 50 cities in India. This is correct. Which of these statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option B, that is 2 only. Now let's come to next question. That is question number 87. Which of the following correctly describes the term head count ratio or HR? Okay, head count ratio, that is HC, head count ratio. Number A, it is the percentage of the population that is below the poverty line. This is correct. So option A is the correct answer. It is the percentage of the population that is above the poverty line. So it should be above the poverty line. So option A is the correct answer. Now let's come to question number 88. Indian Railways has launched the National Rail Plan for a future ready railway system by 2030. Which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to the National Rail Plan? Now let's first come to the first statement. It aims to increase the modal share of railways in freight by 45% by 2030. It is correct. Number 2. It aims to make Indian Railways a net zero carbon emitter by 2030. It is correct. Railways will be using solar power in a big way to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2030. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 3. Under this plan, private sector role will be limited to only passenger train operations. This is incorrect. No, their role will not be limited to only passenger train operations. The government will engage with the private sector in areas like operations and ownership of rolling stock, development of freight and passenger terminals, development or operations of track infrastructure, etc. So statement 3 is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option B, that is 1 and 2 only. Question number 90. With reference to India's debt status, consider the following statements. Statement 1. India has never defaulted on its debt since the economic reforms of 1991. It's correct. India has never defaulted. Number 2. Currently, India has sufficient reserves to cover its entire debt, including that of the private sector. It is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is both 1 and 2. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 91. World Investment Report 2020, sometimes seen in the news, is published by option A, World Bank, incorrect. Option B, International Monetary Fund, incorrect. Option C, World Economic Forum, incorrect. Option D, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. This is correct. Option D is the correct answer. India improved its position from 12th in 2018 to 9th in 2019 in the list of the world's largest FDI recipients. So for question number 91, the correct answer is option D. Now let's come to question number 92. Consider the following statements with reference to Time Use Survey 2019. Statement 1. Its primary objective is to measure the participation of men and women in paid and unpaid activities. This is correct. Number 2. According to this, females disproportionately spend less time on unpaid domestic and caregiving services compared to their male counterparts. This is incorrect. Women will spend more time on unpaid domestic and caregiving services. So time spent by a female on unpaid domestic services and unpaid caregiving services to household members is prominent and higher than male counterparts. So statement 2 is incorrect. Now let's come to statement 3. It is conducted by National Statistical Office, that is NSO. This is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is 1 and 3 only. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 93. Consider the following statements with reference to the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, that is CDSCO. Let's come to statement 1. It is the national regulatory authority responsible for the regulation of drugs under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. This is correct. It is India's national regulatory body for pharmaceuticals and medical devices. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. Central Drugs Standard Control Organization is under the administrative control of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This is correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option C, that is both 1 and 2. Now let's come to question number 94. With reference to trade logistics in India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Ports handle around 90% of export-import cargo by volume and 70% by value in India. This is correct. India has a 1% share in world fleet as on January 2020. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. The average turnaround time of ships in India has increased in the last 5 years. This is incorrect. When the technology advancement is there, it should not increase, but it should decrease. It should decrease. So the turnaround time of ships, which is a key indicator of efficiency of the ports sector, has declined from 4 days. So it has declined from 4 days in 2014-15 to 2.62 days in 2020-21, April to September. So it has decreased. So statement 2 is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. Now let's come to question number 95. With reference to skill development in India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. More than 50% of the workforce. So more than 50% of the workforce in India has received training from informal sources. This is incorrect. Only 2.4% of the workforce of age 15 to 59 years have received formal. So they have received formal vocational training, and another 8.9% of the workforce received training through informal sources. So it's not 50%, but it should be 8.9%. So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2. Agriculture sector is the largest employer with 42.5% of the workforce. This is correct. Number 3, self-employment is the major source of employment for the workforce in India. This is correct. Self-employment is the major source of employment for the workforce in India. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option C, that is 2 and 3 only. Question number 96. Agriculture Infrastructure and Development Cess, that is AIDC, has been proposed by the central government on the imports of certain products in the budget 2021-22. Which of the following products are exempted from this cess? So we have to choose those products which are exempted from this cess, that is the AIDC. So AIDC has imposed on the imports. So AIDC is imposed on the has been imposed on the imports of the following products. Number 1 is gold, silver, and door bars. Number 2, alcoholic beverages. Number 3, apples. Number 4, crude palm oil. Number 5, crude soybean and sunflower seed and sunflower oil. Then number 6 is coal, lignite, and peat. Number 7, specified fertilizers like urea, etc. Then 8, peas. 9, kabuli chana. 10, Bengal gram or chickpeas. 11, lentil. 12, cotton, not carded or combed. So these are the items which are under the AIDC cess. So number 1, apples, it is incorrect. It is not exempted. Number 2, alcoholic beverages, incorrect. Number 3, gold and silver, incorrect. All 3 of them, they are not exempted. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is none, that is D. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 97. Which of the following activities are carried out by the Geological Survey of India, that is GSI? That is GSI. Number 1, mineral prospecting and investigations. This is correct. Number 2, offshore surveys. It's correct. Number 3, natural hazard studies. It's correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2, and 3. Question number 98. Consider the following statements with respect to foreign exchange reserves of India, that is forex reserves. Number 1, India is the second largest foreign exchange reserves holder in the world. No, India is not the second largest. India is the fifth largest foreign exchange reserves holder among all countries of the world after China, Japan, Switzerland, and Russia. So India is fifth. Number 2. So statement 1 is incorrect. Number 2. Gold constitutes the largest component of the foreign exchange reserves. This is incorrect. It is not gold which constitutes the largest. Foreign currency assets. So foreign currency assets constitute the largest component of the forex reserves, followed by gold. So statement 2 is incorrect. Number 3, under the Reserve Bank of India Act, RBI is prohibited from investing foreign exchange reserves in debt instruments. This is incorrect. They can also invest in debt instruments. The law permits investment in debt instruments representing sovereign or sovereign guaranteed liability with residual maturity for the debt papers not exceeding 10 years. So number 3 is also incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? So all of them are not correct. So option D is the right answer. Now let's come to next question, that is question number 99. The economies across the world have undertaken massive use of above-the-line fiscal policy measures, the full cost of which reflects in the fiscal deficit. So the cost of this will be reflected in the fiscal deficit and government debt. Which of the following are the above the line fiscal measures? Now let's first try to know what is above the line fiscal measures. So above the line fiscal measures include those for which full cost is reflected in the fiscal deficit, government debt, and increased borrowing needs in the short term. These measures include additional spending, example health services and unemployment benefits, and it also includes capital grants, and it includes targeted transfers, and targeted transfers like wage subsidies or direct transfers. And it also includes tax measures, example tax cuts or other relief. So they are provided through standard budget channels. So these are the above the line fiscal measures. Number 1, spending on unemployment benefits. This is a above the line fiscal measure, so it's correct. Number 2, tax relief measures. This is also correct. It is also one of the above the line fiscal measure. Number 3 is special credit facility to street vendors. This is incorrect. It is not above the line measure, but it is below the line measure. So let's know what is this below the line measure. Below the line measures are defined as generally involve the creation of assets like equity injections, loans, asset purchase, etc., which may have little or no upfront impact on the fiscal deficit. So number 3, special credit credit facility. So it is a credit facility to street vendors. So it is not above the line measure, but it is below the line measure. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Next question is question number 100. With reference to Agriculture Infrastructure Fund scheme, consider the following statements. Statement 1. It aims to provide medium to long-term debt financing for post-harvest management infrastructure. This is correct. Number 2, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. This is incorrect. It is not a centrally sponsored scheme, but it is a central sector scheme and it is operational from the year 2020-21 to 2029-30. So statement 2 is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. That's all guys. Bye.